In this video, I'm going to be going over 30 new features in the Extinction Ascended update. Of course, they just added Extinction to Arc Ascended, and usually with these videos, I'm basically going to be going over all the free stuff, the free updates first, and then I'm going to go over the Bob's Tall Tale DLC, and I'll mention when I make that swap to the DLC stuff. And number one is the Dreadnoughtus. This is a brand new creature that's been added to Extinction. It is free with the map. Of course, Extinction is also free. So you'll have access to this new creature, and it was voted in by the community like over a year ago now, so it's cool to see it finally in the game. This is a comparison of it to a Bronto. As you can see, it makes the Bronto look pretty small. It is really tall, and it's overall a really cool looking creature. This is its platform saddle, and it looks really cool too. As you can see, it's got like different platforms that go down, so you could probably connect those with stairs and stuff and make it look really cool. But it's got some even more abilities as well. They're more PvP oriented, like this ability to shoot cannonballs, which kind of coats them in poison, and then it has like a giant gas cloud there, and has some other things it can shoot as well. But that's definitely a really cool creature. I'm excited for this one. But after that, at number two is one I was definitely not expecting. Is they changed the King Titan to where now it will spawn naturally on the map anywhere in the wastelands, I think, and it does it once per day, and not in-game day. It's like once every real life day. I couldn't find one in my single player game, and I know there's a cheat code, but I don't know what it is, so I just had to use this footage of the actually spawning in. But it does, I've seen footage of it. It'll basically appear on your mini map, and I think it will tell you when it spawns in, and you can go kill it. I don't think it'll do the cutscene, but it will give you world buffs, which it's kind of similar to Genesis Part 2 when you could complete missions and get buffs that way. I don't know if they stay permanent or if they're time-based, but either way, you get buffs like faster egg hatching speeds and all that kind of stuff just randomly from killing this. And you also get a new cosmetic, even though nobody really knows what that is yet. Number three is the snow biome, and there's been two new like giant ruins or bases added, and these are really cool looking. They honestly kind of look like modern houses if they were ruins, I guess. And then you could probably build in these as well and make some really cool bases out of it. I might even end up building a base in here because I think these look really dope. And of course, the Arctic biome might be a little bit safer than the wastelands, even though the city might still be the best. I don't know. And number four is another nice quality of life change, but Pegomastecs now collect crystals from gachas, which means you can automatically farm them now. I'm pretty sure there was no way to automatically pick them up before unless you were using mods, but now you can have a Pego pick them up, and then you can have the snow owls to feed the gachas, so that'll be a great way of automatically farming gacha crystals. And number five is kind of a spoiler for the ending cutscene, but they did add a new cutscene at the end after the credits. It's this little animated thing with Mei Yin, but it basically teases the next map that's coming out. So as you can see, there's like the snow here, and it kind of breaks off in the ice, and you get to see the logo for the new like DLC map, or the new story map that's coming out, because of course they confirmed that that was happening like a year ago, but we haven't heard anything about it until now. And it's a really sick logo. It's called the Lost Colony, and a lot of people are speculating that's going to be Erat Prime, which is basically like the other side of the Earth compared to Extinction. So it's going to be a story map, most likely taking place there on the other side of the Arc map, or the Extinction Earth. So that's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see more about this one. Hopefully it comes out like next year sometime. It might come out next year, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll come out the year after. We'll just have to see. This is all we know about it so far. Maybe they'll reveal a little more about it in a future upcoming community crunch or something. And number six is there's a new Wasteland ghillie suit. This is kind of expected because every DLC they've added a specific ghillie suit for the new DLC map. This one being the Wasteland one, and it looks pretty cool. Obviously, it fits the whole like Wasteland area theme, so that's the only area it's gonna match, not like the Arctic biome or anything, but it's still nice to have. Number seven is they finally gave levels to the Alpha King Titan fight, or just the King Titan fight in general. In Arc Survival Evolved, you couldn't get levels from it for some reason. It's like one of the only main bosses that didn't have that, but now you can. You can get 15 plus levels from the Alpha version. Number eight is there's now tech dinos in Arc Ascended, which is cool, but you can also find tech babies as well in the wild. I found a baby tech Rex out in the wild over here, and then you can just kill the parents and claim them, so that's pretty cool. And number nine is the meteor showers. Now, of course, they had meteor showers on Arc Survival Evolved, but they made them look a lot cooler in Arc Ascended. Now the sky will turn purple, and you can see all of them coming down, and the explosions are absolutely massive. These meteor showers look really sick. They usually happen when you start the King Titan fight, but they can also just happen randomly. and you definitely don't want to get caught in the wastelands. Also, of course, if you never played Extinction, the city also has a force field around it, so it can't get hit. So that's why you'd want to stay in there and not out in the wasteland. So good tip there. Number 10 is the taxidermy bases have been reworked just a little bit. Not as much as I was hoping, because they were a little bit glitchy and they still kind of are. But some new things is they've combined all of them into one, so you don't have to make different sizes of them. It looks like they also have more inventory slots. I don't remember them having that much space in there, but I could be wrong. You can now create a snapshot of yourself in there as well. You don't have to kill yourself and take the dermis that way. And then you can also pose it, and you can hide the bottom too, which is amazing. That's probably the best thing they did to the taxidermies. Now you can hide the base. You can put dinos on there and stuff, and then hide it. And then you can also hide the little, like, what are the little arm thing that holds up the pteranodons and other flyers and stuff like that. Number 11 is they added a brand new skull on the map. It's right where that giant rib cage was. Before there was just nothing. I mean, there was the rib cage, but there wasn't any skull or anything, as you can see right there. And it looks really cool. And number 12 is a smaller one, but they redesigned the gas bag saddle. Before, it was just kind of like this little, I don't even know, plump right there. And now it actually looks like a saddle. It's got the little wraps around and stuff. This is what it looked like in Ark Survival Evolved, and that's what it looks like in Ark Ascended. As you can see, a way better improvement on that. And number 13 is now when you craft a mech, it just automatically spawns in. Also, it has a Dillo picture for some reason. I don't know if that's a glitch or something, but I guess it does for now. And yeah, it just automatically spawns in. Before, you could have an unassembled mech crafted, but you can't do that anymore. Number 14 is all bosses in Ark Survival Ascended now give 20% more element when killed. So I guess it's just going to make it easier to farm element in Ark Ascended now. And number 15 is the tech bridge has been redesigned. Now it looks like a giant rectangle, and supposedly it's supposed to have a bunch of like quality of life fixes, but you can't even place it. I've tried placing it tons of different areas and it just doesn't work. So, you know, it wouldn't be an Ark update if they didn't have something broken, and this looks like it. I don't know, maybe they'll fix it, because right now it's not letting me place it anywhere. But after that, at number 16 is the endless orbital supply drops now actually give loot past, I believe it was like wave 13 or something. Before they would cap out their loot, but now apparently they're not going to cap out at all, which seems like it'd be really overpowered if you made it like 100 waves or something, but at the same time you'd probably get destroyed if you did that. So I don't know, they did make it to where it's better to do the endless waves now though. And number 17 is the first one of the DLC for Bob's Tall Tales, so if you don't have Bob's Tall Tale DLCs, you're not going to have any of this stuff going forward. But the first one at number 17 is the garage that they have now for the cars, of course, which we'll get to in a second, but you can build the garage and it looks really cool. You can also take the top off as well if you don't want it, but you can also build on the top, which is pretty sick. And you get this huge interface where you actually like move around. It looks really cool. I've never really expected them to add an interface that looks like this. And you could customize your car, like pretty much everything about it. You can basically go in and add all kinds of different parts. You can change the center to make it look like a monster truck or something, or maybe like a buggy. You can change the tires, the front, the back, all of it. And it's really cool. And of course, at number 18, we have the cars themselves. This is the one I made. I think it's like the monster truck model, but I used a different type of tire. I think it was like the medium-sized tire, I guess. I put a flamethrower on the back. And when it actually comes to riding these things, they ride really well. I was really surprised. Of course, we were used to the tech, buggy in Ark Survival Evolved, and that thing sucked. It was worthless to build. It was garbage. And this thing is way better. It actually feels nice to go around, and I never really felt myself like actually getting stuck anywhere, which you would with the tech dune buggy, like literally every 2 seconds. This thing, if you fall off something and hit the ground, it'll usually just bounce back up and you don't have to worry about it. And it's really good at off-roading too, and I'm pretty sure there's even more like off-road tires you can use. It'll break through rocks and all kinds of stuff, so you don't have to worry about hitting those, and it's really quick as well. As you could see where I just hit the ground there, it kind of just flips over to the side. You can go through little rivers like this and be absolutely fine. These cars, they seem like they're going to be really great. Also, you can like pick up the cars as well. So if you don't feel like driving them back to your base, or can't get it out of somewhere, you can just pick it up and then bring it back to the garage and rebuild it. So all of that is quite nice. And number 19 is the extinguisher grenade. This one basically just extinguishes any fires in the area. Probably more useful for PvP because I can't think of a single time I've ever wanted a grenade that extinguishes fire, but I mean, it's there. Maybe you could use it on yourself, like if you get set on fire by a wyvern or something. That's the only thing I can really think of for PvE use anyway. I should mention that I am a PvE player. In PvP, it could probably be more useful. And number 20 is the explosive spear. It's pretty self-explanatory as well, but it's like a spear, and you can throw it and it will explode on impact, and it actually does a pretty good amount of damage. It's better than I thought it would be, even though it does kind of take a lot of them. But it's pretty fun to use. And number 21 is the Tribe Tower. This one is a giant building that you can place down, and you can only have one per tribe on the map, and basically how it works is it gives you buffs for your entire tribe, and it gives you all kinds of stuff. It runs on Apex trophies, so it's quite expensive to run and use. And it's, like I said, it's going to give buffs, and the longer you have it for, the more buffs it will give, and I believe it caps out at like 30 days. I'm not going to go over all of the details in it, but that's basically all you need to know about it. It's going to be insanely useful for PvP players, and they said the reason they added this was to try and deter people from building out of caves, because you also can't place it in caves. It has to have access to direct sunlight or sky to even be placed down, so it's going to be quite game-changing for PvP, but even in PvE it's going to be useful because you can just place one down and not have to worry about your base being destroyed because you're in PvE, and you can just get the buffs off of it, so that'll be pretty nice. And number 22 is the Wasteland Structure skins. Of course, for all these DLCs we've had a custom structure skin, and this one might be one of my favorites. Of course, it's kind of just my personal style. I like this kind of style of build, even though it is kind of crazy looking. It's fun. I think it's cool. It definitely fits Extinction pretty well. And then we also have the chair skins as well. There's one for chairs, benches, and tables that you can put, and these ones look really cool as well. They're going to be nice for decorating even more. Number 24 is the Makeshift Mega Lab. It's a new crafting structure, and it's basically just a tech chemistry bench. You can craft everything you can in a mortar and pestle and chemistry bench, except for it's way faster and runs on element. And I'm assuming it's going to be more efficient on resources, kind of like how the chemistry bench normally is, so it's going to be pretty cool. Number 25 is a weird looking one, but it's going to be pretty cool. It's the Blade Wasp Hive. It basically is a little hive you can place down. It runs on honey and sulfur. You use sulfur for ammo for it, and then it runs off honey as like a fuel. But it basically has a bunch of these wasps, which are just they're basically the bugs from Genesis Part 1, but smaller. And they're going to go out and defend your base and attack stuff. So it's kind of like a little defense structure that maybe isn't going to run on ammo like a turret. Instead, it's just honey. And after that, we have the Bio Grinder. It's basically a grinder for live animals. You can throw, I think it only works on tamed creatures, but you can throw your tamed creatures in there, and then it's super gory. You get blood coming out everywhere. It's kind of fun to watch in a really terrible way, but you can throw stuff in there. And at first I didn't really know what this was, but I did see a video clip of someone getting kibble from it, so it looks like you can get kibble and other types of resources that you normally wouldn't be able to with this thing. So we'll have to see as time goes on what this thing actually is more used for. Like I said, in this video I'm not trying to go in depth in anything, I'm kind of just showing everything off. Next up at number 27 is the Wasteland skin sets. This is the first one, the War Pig one, and there's 2 in total. It's pretty cool. I like the chest piece and the leggings. I think they're pretty cool, but the helmet and stuff I don't really care for that much. And then there's the Warlord one, which also looks really dope. I really like the skulls on the chest plate there. I think that looks pretty sick. And the helmet's kind of cool too with the mohawk and all that stuff. And the skin, those are the 2 skin sets, but there's also 28 sets of helmets as well. Multiple, I believe there's like 3 or 4 extra ones that aren't part of those sets. This is my favorite one right there, with like all the holes in the helmet. It looks really cool. Then there's the, I think it's called the Crocosaurus helmet. You can see it here. It's kind of fun. And then after that, we have this one which looks kind of like a gas mask with feathers coming out the back of it. And number 29 is the Wasteland Lights. This is a big set of lights you have. You have this campfire thing that it works as a campfire as well. You can place down. You have these like standing torch type things. You can go on the ground, and there's like these ones you can place on the floor or on tables and stuff. There's these wall lamps you can see right here that you can place all over the walls, and they look really cool as well. I like the style of all these lights. And then finally there's the hanging ceiling lamp, which also looks pretty dope. And at number 30, we have the Armadoggo. It's a brand new creature. You have to have Bob's Tall Tales in order to tame it. And it's a new type of creature called a companion pet. and you can basically put it on companion mode. It's going to be like a dog from Minecraft, where it basically just follows you to the ends of the earth, and if you go way too far, it'll just teleport to you. So for example, I jumped off this cliff right here, and it just followed me down. And it's basically always following. It's always going to find a path. So you don't really have to worry about. It's not like another creature where you have to whistle follow and then have it follow you, and it's really annoying. Like, as you can see, I started flying and it started flying a little bit too. Like, it will just, you don't even have to think about it. It's just always going to be there. And if you get like on a creature or something, it's just going to ride the creature with you, like probably like in your lap or something. But as you can see, I flew over here. It took a little bit of second, but it kind of just buries out of the ground right there. It also has a ton of different armor sets. This is the regular armor set that you can have, and it also combines with all the other sets. There's tons of different ones. This first one is the sleeping bag, which allows you to respawn at the dog. And then there's the ammo box, which basically that refills your ammo if you have ammo in the dog, so you can hold it without having it to take up weight. Then there's the bait trap, which you can use to bait out creatures or just have them chase the dog. And then after that is the spike armor. It basically just gives it recoil damage or thorns damage, so that way when something attacks it, it's going to do damage back just from hitting it. And then there's the spy kit, which basically makes it kind of like a tech binocular set, but not as good. And then there's the speed booster, which increases your speed and the dog's speed, and I think whatever you're riding to, I'm not entirely sure on that. Then there's the healing pack, pretty self-explanatory. It's going to heal you and the dog as well. And then there's the oxygen tank, which is going to give you oxygen. Not very useful in Extinction, but if you bring this on other maps, it could be useful for like underwater and stuff like that. And then there's the food kit, which allows you to basically store food and, you know, berries and all that other kind of stuff in here without it spoiling. And then there's the backpack, which just gives it more storage and weight reductions for items, so that's pretty useful. And then there's the chibi holder. This one's not as useful, but it's kind of just fun to have chibis on the back there with the Baby Yoda style holder. Should also mention these companion pets are unkillable, so if you have the dog on companion mode, you can't kill it. If it does get to 0 health, it'll just bury and then it will start healing, so you can't kill it at all, which definitely makes it pretty strong. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it or find it helpful, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. Thanks for watching, and bye.